Good afternoon. See who we get today. I didn't even put a post on, so I'm just hoping that you know I'm here and I'm going live. We're going to get creative with Dragonfly Dreams again today. We're going to be looking at the embossing folder, one of the little stamps, and maybe even the stencil. Here we go. Good afternoon, Christine. Hoping. Are you on? Good. Good, thank you. Are they coming up now? Hi, Jill. We've got Zena as well. Perfect. We'll get a few of you on. We'll flip the camera and we're just going to get creative. There's Vanessa. Hi, Vanessa. It's been a busy one today. I've been here, there and everywhere. Lou, hello. Good. Yeah, so I've had a little look at what's available and what I've got and what I want to play with. Oh, I know what else it is. We're going to use some of the papers from the pad as well today. And I'm going to emboss the design in it. We're going to look at a couple of things. I haven't got anything to show you. It's just going to come. They're the best ones, you know. So, I know it's only just 2, so I'll just give one more minute and then I will flip. I'll flip the camera and we'll get going. Right, okay. So, let's just spin that round. There we go. Is that in a good position? Right. So this one, the Dragonfly embossing folder, we're going to be using this one. We are going to probably, yeah, maybe, maybe do a technique with the floral pattern stencil. This little grunge word cloud, I absolutely love it in the background. So we're going to be looking at something there, but maybe like a bit of a rainbow feel to it. And then, oh, this just makes me happy. I've just designed a project for an online workshop that I'm doing for the craft collectives in January. And I've used the papers. Oh, I'm really happy. So I'm going to look at this paper. Okay, so I've ripped one out of my book. I think £9.99 for an A4 pad with 36 sheets in, and they're double-sided, is fantastic value. So let's move them to one side so I don't dib into them. And then, look at me putting them all back. So, I'm going to start off with just some A4 dragons card, and I'm going to make myself a little card blank first. So we will just do a 5 by 7 inch card. So 7 that way, 10 the other way, and then we'll just score that at 5. I don't very often work in inches unless I'm doing a 5 by 7 card. So there's my card blank. We're going to start with that. I have picked out this sheet of paper because I love that it's got the dragonfly cloud bubble on it and mixed in, and it's like in a larger font. We've got this on the reverse, so you could use either or, but I'm going to choose to pick this piece out. So I'm going to cut it the right size for my folder, which my folder should be 4 by 6, like so. So I'm going to cut this at, I'm going to go, what am I going to do? I'm going to do it 4 by 6. Did you just say something?
Yeah, 4 by 6.
Oh.
Fold is 4 by 6.
Yes, Paul. We'll go that way because I want that bit. Okay, so I've got, that's nice. I could have, you see, I could have gone down that way so that my lines were going across the way, but I've decided to go that way, and that's fine, that will work. And I'll want a little mat and layer for that, so I'll grab another piece of white card and just do 6 1/4 by 4 1/4. And this is like one of the simplest cards, but yeah, that will work perfectly. And then I might even stick it. Go on then, Hazel, just do it while you're here. So with what's left of that paper, I am going to do 4 3/4 inches by 6 3/4 inches. It does feel weird working in inches, but if the card base is inches, then the mats and layers need to be. So I have got a little layer up there. That all works perfectly. I mean, that on a card on its own would look fabulous. And I'll come back to them other bits in a minute. So let's grab my embossing folder. And we're just going to pop that, open it out. Might still have some green on it. And I'm just going to pop that in and emboss that through my machine. Now, if I remember rightly, on a big shot, you just take out the shim and sandwich it between the 2 cutting plates, which is perfect. Yeah, that's lovely. So you're not really going to see it. It is there, believe me. So now we need to bring that colour out. So I'm going to go into my inks. I'm going to have a look. Let's have a look at orange. Yeah, once I've rubbed the ink pad over, that's going to bring them designs to the foreground. So they're going to be there. They're going to be subtle. Oops. And I'm going to add in maybe a little bit of yellow. And I might as well finish that side off on that orange. There we go. Now, one thing I haven't done, just going to bring in my messy mat. There we go. So now that brings those dragonflies to the foreground. I could also go in and add a little bit more. Just make sure that that's clean, which it isn't. It is now. And I'm going to just grab, let's bring that down a little bit so you can see a bit better. Add in a little bit of extra colour in the wings. Not on all of them, just here and there. I could bring a little bit of a pink tone in if I wanted to, but I think I'm just going to keep to that. Paul, is there any way you could pass me some kitchen towel down, please? So that's given us a nice little background. Whoa! He chucked it at me. Right. This is going to be a super quick one. That's going to mat and layer up onto there. So I'm just going to grab my glue. Didn't get a notification. Hope you haven't missed much. No, all I have done is taken a sheet of the pattern paper from the pad, the one that's got the dragonfly cloud bubble words on. I've embossed it. We're just mat and layering it up onto some white. And then we have done another little mat and layer for our card. I could flip it over if I wanted to. I'm going to live on the edge. Let's flip this one over. Get that same little border around the edge. And then we've got that one like so. Now, if I have a little strip going across here, what does that measure? Just for a little sentiment, that measures, let's do it at 1 1/4 inches. If I can get that. I don't know if I've cut that wonky, probably have. Can I do it? Oh, don't be tight, Hazel, do it off this one. Right, 1 1/4. By, this has got to be 4 1/4 inches on this edge, because that'll go over to the white, that's right. And then I want another little panel, and I'll probably use the back side of this for 1 inch. But what I'm going to do is cut that off so I can save those flowers for another project. So that's 4 inches by 1 inch. So I've got that one to come across there. I'm going to try it on the pink side as well, just to make sure. I like the pink better. Okay, that's fine. Right then. So let's mat and layer that one. Of course I could have used that bit as well. And get that equal border. And then I'm going to drop that lower. I've gone into the die cut pad, this one here, and I've popped out a few little bits. I've got a dragonfly to go on here. I've got a little bit of bulrushes to go down there, and then I've got room to pop a little sentiment on. But I think we should also put a little bit of griddage in the background. So let's get my cutting plate back out and pop that one on. I've got some white next to me. Let's just grab the die. So that's this one here. And I'm just going to run that through my machine. And I've done it in white just so that it will stand out off the... Sorry about the rocking on the camera. Okay, where's my little brush? I'll probably get told off now because I'm going to make a mess on the floor. And I'm not going to bother poking all of this out because I just need the 2 edges, if I'm honest with you. Okay. I mean, they're all die cut, they'll just pop out. But if I just lay this under here, look, I've got a little bit of grid coming out the top and the bottom. So I do need to do these bits. There we go. Right, so I am actually going to stick that onto the back of this little panel like so. And I'm going to use the lines from the grid just to get me a straight line. As always, if you've got any questions, shout out because Paul is here and he'll do his best to answer them. Pop that one on there. Now, I would... do you know what? I'm going to keep it flat. I was going to raise that. I'm not going to lie. I don't think I've got any foam pads in my trolley. So we will stick it flat on this one. Get that nice equal border. And again, this one. Now, I've got this lovely little bulrush. I'm going to drop that lower. Come here. Probably to there. So, bit of glue behind there. And then panel across. Just making sure that I don't have the bulrush popping out the bottom. And then I've got my little dragonfly. Is that one the same size? So both of these are out of the die cut pad. They have like a little edge round, but on this one, I've chopped it off, and I actually think, do I like it without it? I mean, they both go perfectly. But I'm going to go for this one. I'm going to curl up the tail, and I'm just going to dab a little bit of glue in here. Have that one, like so. And then in the die cut pad, no, don't mean that. The sticker pad, mine's all pulled apart. Let's choose a little sentiment. I mean, this one could be a really good sympathy card, thinking of you, condolences, or what else have we got? Happy birthday, congratulations, birthday wishes. I mean, we do go through lots of birthday cards. So this one would look nice. And because of the colour, I think it just goes in really well with the papers. So it's there, but nice and subtle. So that was the first card I wanted to share with you. And now we're going to have a little look at the stencil, some techniques, and then I've got one other little card that I want to do. So I'm going to move that to one side. Ooh, go down there. I'm going to bring in my stencil. Come on, out you come. Now I bet I haven't got, I'm sure I haven't got a rubber mat here, have I? Don't think I have. You can emboss this into your card with your through your machines, and it looks fabulous. But if I grab a sheet of white card and I just choose maybe we've got a little bit of a teal and a bit of purple going on there. And then we will give that a spritz, but I'm going to lift it up off of here to spritz it. Because it's tidier. And then if I lay this down, we'll get a print from that as opposed to an ink through. Give that a little press. And that's going to give us a really nice... Just dry that off. So if I go down and take off the moisture. Yes, and I answered it on the page, Pauline. What we can tell you at the moment is the last day for posting from our website is the 19th of December. Our shop opening times are yet to be released. We will over the next week or so. We'll let you know those. But obviously the website will be open all over Christmas, but orders won't be packed and sent out until our return, and then they will be sent on a first come basis. They'll be sent out in order. Okay, so from here, what I can do is take another colour and ink in between. So you're kind of building, and if you're not sure, I mean, I've gone for black here, but look, it really does give quite a nice little look. So I'm going to go in quite heavy just to show you. I love this little line at the bottom as well. And I'm not going to do the whole lot. I'm just going to do a couple of bits just so that you can see how it just works when you're building a background up. Another great technique with it is when you leave the stencil in place, so line it back up, and you use a fine liner pen, which I know I haven't got down here because it's up there. Is this Biro Black? And you go round, make sure you've got that lined up right. Let's do it on one up here. and you go round and just draw the edge of the little petals. And especially if you're doing like a little background on a picture, on a card, in a journal, it just looks really quite nice. So let's just bring that one round. Okay, so you get this look, and then I would just join that one, bring that one down. If it was in a fine liner, it might stand out a little bit more, but hoping you can see that in there. Another technique, another way to use it. Obviously, it does look really nice if you emboss it, and then if you start and incorporate all of the other stamps in there, it starts to look really cool, and then you can put like your dragonfly or your lily on there. So that's a little bit with the stencil, and if I remember next time, I'll try and remember and make sure that we've got that I've got an embossing mat for the big shot here, so that I can run that through. Also with the embossing folder, I love inking the folder. So for this one, we've got a little bit of teal. We're going to go into a bit of purple. In fact, I'm going to rub that a bit harder. And then we're going to go into a bit of yellow, like so. And what I would do is I'd grab a brayer and brayer over that just to soften them lines and take the excess off. Just so that we've got a little bit of a fade. Then I would take a piece of card, because you can tell how organised I am today. I'm going to do it at 15-ish by 10.5. Pop that in there. It's stuck to me mat. Put that in there. Now this will turn out quite bright, but when I emboss the second one, it will give me a much more muted down effect, which sometimes is the nicest one to use. So just winding that through. Look at that. But then if I take the second piece and run that one through, then I have this. So I do prefer to use the second print because it's just a little bit more, but they both, you could definitely use both of those together. You could go in and paint the wings and then brayer over the top in another colour. And if you did that, for instance, it would look like, get the brayer, Hazel. Just using the ink that's on there for the minute. But then if I went into the purple, it just stands those, brings those dragonflies up to the foreground a bit more. So that was, that's all about the stencil and the embossing folder. But now I want to make a quick little card with just clearing. I promised myself I was going to be tidy. Now this doesn't need to be big, so let's go, let's do it as an 8. Oh, it might end up as a 5x7 again, but so let's do that. 4, you watch it not be 6 inches. I bet it won't be. It isn't. Okay, so but it is 15 centimetres. So this one can be 10 centimetres. Right, 10 centimetres by 15 centimetres. I'm going to grab my stamping platform this time. I'm going to pop it in here. Get off. And we'll go back through and find that lovely little cloud background. There we go. And I want to rainbow stamp this. So if that was there and I did it there, can't move it along. Okay, I'm just telling my brain what it's doing. I'm sure we all have days like this. I'm going to start this on 8 centimetres and I am going to peg it in place so it doesn't move. And I'm going to place it here in the middle. I'm doing it in the middle, like so. I don't think I want it at 8. I'm going to do it at 6. Okay, I'm going to pick that up. And then I want a rainbow stamp on here. So I'm going to go a little bit of yellow. It's got a little bit of whatever colour's on there as well because we're not cleaning my stamps. We'll have a little bit of orange. Into a bit of red or pink, whatever that comes out at. And then we'll go into the teal, not proper rainbow. And then last but not least, hopefully I'll get a little bit of purple at the bottom. I think I've missed some bits out, so I'm going to go back over with the teal. Okay, so now I can move this along. Just see where it joins up. I reckon about there would be fine. And I can do the same again. In with my yellow. Into my orange. Into my orange. Then it was the pink. Probably put a bit too much pink there, but never mind. Into the teal. And then a bit of purple at the bottom. So it's quite easy to extend this one, and it just gives for a really nice background. Then we're going to slide this back the other way, find out where the stamp sits and falls. Well, I couldn't have done that better myself. That is pop on. So let's just check what side, the inside. So we'll have some yellow. And then into orange. Pink. Looking at it, you almost think it's one stamp now. And then a little bit of purple at the bottom. Perfect. So I've got a nice little background to start with. Let's take that tissue and kind of clean. There we go. Place that back on. And this one is going to have well, we'll ink around the outside with a little bit of one of the colours. Shall we go purple? Just kiss the edges. Trying to keep me dirty mitts off of it, but we shall see. And then perfect. I'm going to cut, well, stamp and cut one of the dragonflies. Okay, there is that. And there is my die. Did I bring the block? Yes, I did. I am going to do this in black. And I'm going to do two things. I'm going to do that like so. And then I'm going to stamp it again. And there's a reasoning. I don't care about the tail. I just want them wings. Okay, so then to die cut this, I just lay this over. And the inside edge of this die should line up with the edges of the dragonfly. And once you're perfectly happy, you can pop a little bit of tape to keep it from moving. And just going to cut them wings off. I can run that through. Ooh. Sometimes you just want a simple card, and that's what I'm showing you today, the more simple side of things. Okay, so I'm now going to just cut out these. Now, in workshop this week, we have been making flowers from these dragonflies, and this is exactly how you do it. So if you cut the wings, you'll need 4 dragonflies, which will give you 8 heart petals, and then you just lay them. I punch a circle and stick them onto there, but it gives the most wonderful flower. So it's a really quirky heart this way, or it's a petal of a flower, or it's just another layer on the dragonfly wings, and that's what we're going for today. So I'm just going to cut that one out as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to blend these really vibrantly and stick them on. There we go. So I've got 2 there. And just to show you, honestly, it's going to be the most simple card, but I think really effective. And I like the big word in there, so I might just do it a bit lower. So I'm feeling this lovely teal colour. Let's get that one. Actually, and purple. Got that brush here. So I take my purple and blend there. Hope that's close enough for you. And then I'll go into my teal and come from the other side. And that matches beautiful. And then I'll just go back, give them a bit of shape. Come here. And then we'll just add those down. Like so. Back so soon? You didn't go anywhere? And then we will have that's just gone off. Any news on the koala, Paul? Don't go out the door and leave me. Any news on the koala for Michael?
Sure, it gets released.
6. He thinks it gets released in the next. He thinks tomorrow, so it's going to be within the next week, hopefully, Michael. What was I doing? A bit of teal. I'm just going to add a little bit of colour down his body with touch touch of shadow down one side. You're very welcome, Michael. Soon as it comes in or is available, we will be on that messenger. Just checking. Got that one. Right, so now we've got that lovely dragonfly that is just working really well, but it needs something. And that's where your good old faithful, I hope you're all going to say it out loud with me at home, knowing what I'm going to pick up. Griddage! Gonna get me old griddage out. Now, there's a couple of things, actually. The griddage, obviously, is going to work fabulous. But don't discount this stamp. Because there's so many different elements. You've got bits, you've got lines, you've got coffee rings, you've got different floral elements. You can pick out all of those little elements to use on your card. I'm not going to today because I'm going to use my griddage. And I'm going to use it across the way, but I'm going to be very sporadic how I ink it. That's it. There's only a little bit of ink on there. Definitely not covered all of it. But I'm going to go across the way. Touched 4 times. And then I might extend up there a little bit. And just a twiddle down there. Okay. It just puts a little bit of black into the background to tie everything in. And I mean, I think that looks lovely. It's simple, it's elegant. Of course, what would happen if we took our stencil, hope it's clean, and added a little bit of stenciling through? Of course you can do that, but each layer you add, you're adding more and more detail. So just be mindful. I'm gonna use yellow. I'm gonna keep it nice and simple. See, and just pull it back and have a little look. Yep. Stop it. Because why not? It's in there. It's in your stash. Well, it might be in your stash. Now we've got that lovely background, which just needs a matte and layer. So I will grab. I need black. Well, let's make the card blank first. Now I've got everything everywhere. I saw a big thing there. Do you sell the gloss glue to go on top of the images to make them clear? Yes, Michael, we have got, it's called Glossy Accents. We do it in the large bottle or the smaller bottle. I'll grab one in a minute. And show you. I recommend the small bottles actually, because then you know they're not gonna like cut. If you use lots of it, then the big bottle's fabulous. But if you only use it now and again, then the little bottles are great for that. Okay, so we've got the 5x7 card base again. I'm just going to score it out 5 inches. Got a little frog in there. Okay. Now, actually, normally I would put a black layer on here, a little black mat, but I'm looking at that thinking I could get away without having one. I can't put my card down on my mat because it's dirty, so let's clean that. I'm hoping Paul might pass me a little bit of black card. Please, can I have a bit of black card off that special pile? We'll have a look to see what it looks like with the black card, and we can choose. Okay, so I was going to cut a mat and layer. I think I did the mat and layer, the thing in centimetres, didn't I? So this will be 10.5 by 15.5. Quite impressed that I remembered that. So I really like this like that, but if you have that black layer, it just gives it a little bit more. So it depends what look you're going for. I'm going to go for this because then I can put a little black little black sentiment on there. So, just a case now, we're going to stick this down, and then I'm going to go back into that sticker book, because there's stickers for every occasion in there, and I feel like a little banner one would look great on this. Get off. That's mine. Okay. Now, one thing I have to tell you is there will not be a live on Saturday, unfortunately. I do have my journal workshop, and it's just too... Oh, can you pass it me, Paul? I said I'd pass it down. It's too tight for me to try and fit it in. I've got ink on that. So we'll skip Saturday, but I'll be back the following week. Have you got the big one? Let me finish the card and then I'll bring that in. Right, let's bring this one. I feel like I'm going to go... Oh, I said I was going to leave the dragonfly. There. And then into my little book, I did have... Hope there's some black ones left, because they've been handed around this morning. Ooh. Ooh. Again, I think a birthday wishes would be really cool, but this would make a brilliant get well card, or a with sympathy. I'm just wondering if I've got... That would fit there. I've not stuck it down tight because I wanted to be able to make sure I got it straight. And I would probably have done some black splats on there as well. But again, a really simple, let's put it next to that one. Two really easy. As Hazel said, you'll be... Ah, good. Thank you, Lisa. Just seen it coming through. Right. So there's the two cards we've made. And I'm just going to go over what Michael was asking about the glossy. So... This is the Glossy Accents in a small bottle, and it's $2.85. And this, it dries clear when you pop it on. We have one from Studio Light, which is 3D Glossy Effect. The difference between the two is that this one comes out milky, so you have to wait for it. Look, that comes out like that. You have to wait for that to dry before it goes clear. This one goes on clear. And then there is a larger bottle of the Glossy Accents at $6.99. So any of those three products will give you those glossy bits that you're looking for. Thank you to Lisa. She just texted me to remind everybody. The shop, the bricks and mortar shop, is shut on Monday because we're going for a wedding, which is going to be really lovely. My niece is getting married. So, yes, we have a wedding. So we'll be shut on Monday, but back open on Tuesday as normal. And then it was just no live on Saturday because I've got a journal workshop in here and it's just too tight. So I will catch up with lives next week on Thursday. I'm just going to flip here. Oh, no, well, I haven't. I've just... Let's go like that. Just going to check. See if there has been... Oh, I don't know why. Oh, hi, Julie. Right, so we've got... Thank you. That's good. That's good. Covered the glossy. I think we've covered everything. Talked about the Christmas opening hours. Talked about the wedding. Perfect. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful evening. And I will see you next week for a live. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.